Old Grumpy Hunter here. Well, the race is on. In the 1960s, there was the space race to get a man to the moon. Today it looks like crossbow manufacturers are in a race to exceed 500 feet per second. Just the other day, one manufacturer announced a crossbow that shoots up to 470 feet per second. Using the online archery and crossbow ballistics calculator, you can calculate just about everything you want to know about your arrow's ballistics. Using a total weight arrow of 435 grains and the speed of 470 feet, you can see that even out to 160 yards, you still have a speed of 386.6 feet per second. How far are you planning to shoot? There are a few YouTube videos where the shooter is bragging about taking a shot that's more than 100 yards and killing the animal. But how many times have they taken those 100+ yard shots and just wounded it? Why did you get into crossbow hunting? Was it because you fell for the advertisements that claimed a crossbow shoots like a rifle? Was it because you have trouble holding back the string on a vertical bow? Was it you believe that bow hunting, no matter the type, is a close-up and personal hunt? With bow hunting being an up-close and personal type of hunting, why would anyone take a 100-yard shot? From "Are you thinking about taking that advertised 100-yard shot" video, we know that there are many variables that affect the arrow's flight and the point of impact. Variables that have some effect on bullets, but not as much as on an arrow. Variables like wind, speed of sound, animal reaction, deer census. An arrow weighing 540 grains, moving at 230 feet per second, a 10-mile-an-hour wind at 90 degrees will push the arrow to the side less than 1/8 of an inch at 10 yards. 60 yards, it will be about 3 inches. Speed of sound equals 1,125.328 feet per second. It's extremely difficult to measure a deer's simple reaction time, though it's fairly simple to calculate that it's faster than that of a human's at 0.15 seconds. But you can never completely predict what a deer might do. The deer's hearing is very similar to man's, but they have one difference. They can hear ultra-high frequency sounds that we cannot. Because of that, can they hear the arrow as it's in flight? The deer's eyesight is 5 times better than what we have, and are farsighted. A deer's eyes can even detect the slightest hint of movement. A whitetail's peripheral vision is somewhere between 250 and 270 degrees. Can they see the arrow? A deer's sense of smell is 500 to 1,000 times more acute than a human's due to the thousands of receptors in their nostrils. They can sort out up to 6 smells at once. Can they smell the arrow? A typical whitetail has a kill zone that's less than 10 inches in diameter. That's really not a large target, especially beyond 30 to 35 yards, so most bow hunters get as close as possible. What's an effective shooting range? Most compound bows have an effective range of 30 to 60 yards, with the majority of hunters shooting 40 yards or less. Quality Deer Management Association published a paper by Andy Patterson on the results of a study from 2007 to 2018 that showed the average shot by compound bow users was under 20 yards and under 25 yards for crossbow users. Pope and Young record book, the average shot distance is about 19 yards. Less than 5% of the deer in the record book were shot beyond 40 yards. One of the major crossbow manufacturers states, and I quote, "As with most vertical bow hunters, effective range for a crossbow is about 40 yards. The editor of Crossbow Magazine is quick to say that 40 yards is the maximum shot a crossbow hunter should take at live game. So why do you want to keep your shots short? Countless variables come into play when sending an arrow down range at a cagey whitetail at extended distances. There's less chance of miss because of bow movement. At a short distance, the bow movement will not be as magnified as much as a long shot. No matter how fast your arrow is, it cannot outrun the speed of sound. The sound at 1,125.328 feet per second takes 0.08 seconds to reach 30 yards and 0.26 seconds to go to 100 yards. Even the arrow shot at 470 feet per second can't beat that. Less chance of the deer jumping the string. You may recall in Are You Thinking About Taking That Advertised 100-Yard Shot at a Deer video, I was discussing Dr. Wood's study and about how fast a deer can drop. Foam failure. What is foam failure? Well, you've been practicing all summer shooting at a 3D target and are dead on at 80 yards. The problem is, this target is not living, breathing, or moving. And no matter how long it takes you to pull that trigger, that chunk of foam will not move. Have a noisy bow? No problem when shooting at foam. You head to the woods thinking that anything within 80 yards is dead, but you miss the deer at 40 yards. What happened? Panic set in. When that live deer stepped in and you could see how small that target looks, your 3D target out to 40 yards looked close, but now that live deer looks to be 120 yards away. Just because you're deadly on a target at 40 yards does not mean you'll be deadly on a live whitetail at 40 yards. Practicing is not the same as hunting. Practicing is done in a controlled environment where hunting is not controlled. One size does not fit all. We have a tendency to tell ourselves, if my favorite world champion archer can shoot a deer at 65 yards, then I can too. The problem is, most likely you're not a world champion archer, and I'm certainly not either. Deer temperament. Is the deer calm when grazing, or did you just stop it with a grunt? Is it an open field, or at a tree line, or is it in the woods? Obviously, even an 80-yard shot could still be powerful enough to kill a medium or even big game size animal. The question is, can you land that shot with precision and penetrate the vitals consistently? That is why most crossbow hunters will prefer to take a shot from a maximum of 35 yards away. You want to be certain that the arrow will land where it should. You don't want to wound the animal. Even at 40 yards, there can be a minefield of twigs and branches, and of course the ever-unpredictability of the nervous whitetail. As crossbow hunters, we need to know distances, as well as our abilities. We need to practice in as realistic conditions as we can. That means to practice offhand, taking shots at multiple yardages, both known and unknown. To be an ethical hunter, you need to be at the top of the game. Consistency during practicing will demonstrate your ethical range. If you can't consistently keep your arrows inside a 6-inch circle, then that distance is too far. When it comes to taking the shot, if it's not certain, then it's too far. But you have to be your own judge. You are the one that has to make the ethical decision about how far is too far for you. Like Dirty Harry said, a man's gotta know his limitations.
Thank you for watching this Old Grumpy Hunter presentation. Please give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to push the notification bell.